They didn't betray you. You just stopped pretending to find comfort in their company. Now you feel guilty for choosing your peace over their presence. You question yourself, replay every moment, ask, was I the problem? But here's what Islam teaches. Long before the world gave us buzzwords like toxic friendships, not every soul deserves access to yours. We live in a time where being constantly connected is considered healthy. Quick replies, constant presence, endless smiles. This is what's expected. But no one asks, what does it cost your soul? You meet, laugh, blend in, but the moment you're alone, silence becomes a mirror, and in that reflection, your soul whispers, I feel fake. I feel empty. And that quiet discomfort, that's not a glitch. It's a sign from Allah. Maybe the very people you're clinging to are the ones Allah is gently removing. Not to punish you, to protect you. You'll notice it begins slowly. The conversations you once forced now feel exhausting. You're surrounded by people, yet your soul feels silenced. You're not angry. You're just tired. Tired of pretending. Tired of giving what you never had in the first place. Tired of being what you're not, and the guilt of pulling away, that's the hardest part. But here's a truth no one told you. Sometimes what you call loneliness isn't loneliness. It's clarity. Clarity that Allah is turning down the volume on the world so you can finally hear your own soul. You wonder, what if I've simply outgrown the people I once thought I needed? That's not arrogance. That's growth. Some people are chapters. They were never meant to be the whole book. And when Allah loves you, He won't let you reread a chapter that delays your journey. So He pulls you away, slowly, gently, painfully, but with purpose. If you've been skipping calls, avoiding invites, feeling unseen, it doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It may mean something has finally started healing in you, because not every friendship feeds your soul. Some simply distract it. Sometimes Allah's disconnection is actually His redirection. There are friendships that feel like home, until one day they don't. No fight, no betrayal, just distance. And questions you don't dare say aloud. Am I abandoning them? Am I being selfish? Is this what Shaitan wants? But here's something they never taught us growing up. Not everyone who begins the journey with you will reach the end with you. Some taught you patience. Others tested your boundaries. Some gave joy. Others broke you open. Each one, a passenger, on a journey meant for you and Allah alone. And sometimes He removes someone not because they were evil, but because the version of you who needed them no longer exists. You've evolved. You've been through enough to know. Not every laugh is sincere, not every friend is loyal, not every space is sacred. Letting go isn't hate, it's mercy. You don't need to burn bridges, you just need to stop crossing them, love them, pray for them. But don't shrink your soul to remain in places that no longer honor it. And if you're asking, what if they call me fake? What if they talk behind my back? That says more about them than you. Real friends feel your absence. Fake ones feel offended by it. Rasulullah said, a person is upon the religion of his close friend, so let each of you look at whom he befriends. This isn't just advice, it's a warning. You're not just choosing people, you're choosing your soul's direction. So if Allah is removing people from your life, don't resist. You're not being punished, you're being protected. We've been taught that being kind means always being available. That being a good Muslim means saying yes to everything. But what if being constantly available to others has made you unavailable to Allah? Our gatherings are often not grounded in purpose, but pressure. Group chats, meetups, events. And when you pause, even briefly, they say you're distant, selfish, too religious. But listen, Rasulullah said, the most beloved of people to Allah is the one who brings the most benefit. Not the one who is most social, the one who is most beneficial. Being around people isn't the goal, being sincere is. And when a gathering no longer serves your deen or your mental peace, Islam allows you to step away. Sometimes it's not selfish, it's sunnah. The Prophet retreated, reflected, reconnected with Allah. And us? We panic, the moment we're alone. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe we've replaced silence with noise, reflection with performance. So if someone makes you feel guilty for needing space, ask, am I walking away from goodness or just from distraction? People don't see what you're carrying. They don't see the duas whispered behind closed doors, the forced smiles, the hidden heartbreaks. Your silence isn't coldness, it's protection. If they knew your truth, their image of you would shatter. That's why you stopped explaining, because the more you explain, the more they misunderstand. The Prophet said, part of a person's good Islam is leaving that which does not concern him. You don't owe your story to anyone. You're not broken because you don't fit in. What they call distant might be your soul choosing to survive. Some of the most faithful believers aren't the loudest. They're the ones battling their nafs in silence. If you've been quiet lately, avoiding the noise, feeling unseen, know this: Allah sees you. He knows the weight, and He rewards the ones who stay silent for His sake. But Allah doesn't just reward your silence. Sometimes He uses it. You asked for peace. You prayed for clarity. You begged for protection, and then people left. Conversations stopped. Connections faded. You asked Allah to fix it, but He took it away, and it hurt. But here's the disruption no one expects. Sometimes the answer to your dua isn't adding something, it's removing it. Not every removal is a punishment. Some are rescues, subtle mercies that first feel like heartbreak. But healing often wears the disguise of disappointment. You didn't lose them randomly. You outgrew a version of yourself. You stopped chasing, stopped performing, stopped giving loyalty to those who only wanted convenience, and Allah saw it all. The backbiting, the exhaustion, the spiritual erosion, so He removed them. Not in His anger, but in His mercy. Let them say you changed. Maybe the version they liked was the one who kept shrinking. While they measured your silence and Allah was measuring your closeness, that heartbreak, it might just be the door that leads you to Him. Allah says you may dislike a thing while Allah places much good in it. You asked for protection. Allah answered, just not the way you expected. And now in the quiet, one truth remains. You never needed many. You needed one who fears Allah, one who values your presence as an amana, not a convenience, one who holds your name in dua, not gossip. The Prophet said, a person is upon the religion of his close friend. So maybe that one friend who pulls you toward Jannah is worth more than 100 who push you toward sin. Maybe that quiet soul who respects your silence is worth more than a crowd that leaves you empty. You weren't created to be popular. You were created to be protected, and maybe Allah is removing the many to give you the one, or maybe to show you He has always been enough. So if your circle is shrinking, if your heart is searching, if your soul is tired of noise, it's not failure, it's mercy. Maybe Allah is calling you back to sincerity, back to stillness, back to Him. Start being selective. Not every hand deserves a handshake. Not every space deserves your presence. You weren't created to please people. You were created to please Allah. When you prioritize Him, your peace returns. Your mind clears. Your soul heals instead of chasing attention. Chase Allah's remembrance. Make istighfar your comfort. Protect your soul by protecting your environment. And if you ever feel like you're alone, remember, solitude with sincerity is better than company with corruption. Hold on to Allah, not a person, not a crowd, because the safest space in this world is not popularity. It's sujud, where your pain is heard, your soul is seen, and your heart finally finds rest.